Hello everyone. Today let's learn Chapter 3 Taro's Reward. Before explaining the chapter, I would like to introduce you the main characters of the story. Firstly, we have Taro, who is a young, kind-hearted, poor, obeying child of his parents. Then we have Taro's parents. They are very old. Then we have the villagers, and lastly we have the king, who is very genuine and kind-hearted to everyone. Now, as we are aware of all the important characters, let's begin our story. Taro's Reward. Taro's Reward is a popular fairy tale in Japan. It involves the story of a son, Taro, who wanted to fulfill the wishes of his father. So let me read the chapter. A young woodcutter named Taro lived with his mother and father on a lonely hillside. All day long he chopped wood in the forest. Though he worked very hard, he earned very little money. This made him sad, for he was a thoughtful son and wanted to give his old parents everything they needed. One evening, when Taro and his parents were sitting in a corner of their hut, a strong wind began to blow. It whistled through the cracks of the hut, and everyone felt very cold. Suddenly, Taro's father said, "I wish I had a cup of sake. It would warm me and do my whole heart good." In these paragraphs, we found that Taro was a poor boy. He earned money by chopping woods from the jungle. But the money he earned was not sufficient for him and his parents. One day, it started blowing cold winds. All people in the home felt cold due to wind passing from the cracks of the wooden house. His father wished if he could have some sake. Sake means what? Sake is a popular and costly drink of Japan. So his father needed sake to energize his heart. Poor Taro, he doesn't have enough money to buy sake. This made Taro sadder than ever, for the heartwarming drink called sake was very expensive. How do I earn more money? He asked himself. How do I get a little sake for my poor old father? He decided to work harder than before. Next morning, Taro jumped out of his bed earlier than usual and made his way to the forest. He chopped and cut as the sun climbed, and soon he was so warm that he had to take off his jacket. His mouth was dry and his face was wet with sweat. My poor old father, he thought, if only he was as warm as I. And with that, he began to chop even faster, thinking of the extra money he must earn to buy the sake to warm the old man's bones. Taro was sad as he didn't have money to buy the expensive sake. He decided to work hard. Next day, he woke up early and went to the forest to chop wood. Why did Taro get up earlier than usual? Because he wanted to make more money to buy sake for his father. Okay. Then suddenly Taro stopped chopping. What was that sound he heard? Could it possibly be rushing water? Taro could not remember ever seeing or hearing a rushing stream in that part of the forest. He was thirsty. The axe dropped out of his hands and he ran in the direction of the sound. Taro saw a beautiful little waterfall hidden behind a rock. Kneeling at a place where the water flowed quietly, he cupped a little in his hands and put it to his lips. Was it water or was it sake? He tasted it again and again, and always it was a delicious sake instead of cold water. Then what happened? While he was cutting trees, he heard the sound of falling water. It perplexed him as there was no river here earlier. Since he was thirsty, he followed the sound of water. Soon he found a waterfall behind the rock. he went near to the fall and put his hands in the water. To his amaze, he discovered that water was not water but sake. He became very happy and filled some sake in his pitcher. Okay, Taro quickly filled the pitcher he had with him and hurried home. The old man was delighted with the sake. After only one swallow of the liquid, he stopped shivering and did a little dance in the middle of the floor. That afternoon, a neighbor stopped by for a visit. Taro's father politely offered her a cup of the sake. The lady drank it greedily. Greedily means what? As if desiring more and more, and thanked the old man. Then Taro told her the story of the magic waterfall. Thanking them for the delicious drink, she left in a hurry. By nightfall, she had spread the story throughout the whole village. So what did Taro do? Taro filled the pitcher. What's the meaning of pitcher? Pitcher means a pot, usually made of mud. Okay, a mud pot. Then, upon reaching the home, he gave this sake to his father. His father became very happy, and father sipped the sake and started to dance with joy. A neighbor came in the evening. Father offered her a cup of sake. The woman happily took the sake. And what happened? Father told her about all the incident which happened to Taro. Now this woman spread the news to all the people in the village. That evening, there was a long procession of visitors to the woodcutter's house. Each man heard the story of the waterfall and took a sip of the sake. In less than an hour, the pitcher was empty. Next morning, Taro started for work even earlier than the morning before. He carried with him the largest pitcher he owned, for he intended first of all to go to the waterfall. When he reached it, he found to his great surprise all his neighbors there. They were carrying pitchers, jars, buckets, anything they could find to hold the magic sake. Then one villager knelt and held his mouth under the waterfall to drink. He drank again and again and then shouted angrily, "Water! Nothing but water!" Others also tried, but there was no sake, only cold water. "We have been tricked," shouted the villagers. "Where is Taro? Let us drown him in this waterfall." But Taro had been wise enough to slip behind a rock when he saw how things were going. He was nowhere to be found. What happened? Every villager rushed to Taro's home and tasted the sake because the woman who had visited Taro's house spread the news everywhere. Next morning, Taro again woke up early, searched the biggest pitcher and went to the waterfall. To his surprise, he found that other villagers were also going to the fall. Soon people reached the fall and tasted the sake. But they found that water of the fall was not sake but plain water. People became angry and decided to throw Taro in the fall. But villagers couldn't find out our Taro because he was wise enough to slip behind a rock. He didn't come in front of the villagers. Then, muttering their anger and disappointment, the villagers left the place one by one. Taro came out from his hiding place. Was it true? He wondered. Was the sake a dream? Once more, he caught a little liquid in his hand and put it to his lips. It was the same fine sake. To the thoughtful son, the magic waterfall gave the delicious sake. To everyone else, it gave only cold water. Oh my God, what happened? Taro hid behind the rock and waited till all the villagers went home. He now tasted the water again, but to his surprise, he still felt that it was sake. The fall was giving Taro a sake, while to villagers it was giving plain water because it was a magic waterfall, and it understood Taro was a very kind-hearted and loving son. The story of Taro and his magic waterfall reached the Emperor of Japan. He sent for the young woodcutter and rewarded him with 20 pieces of gold for having been so good and kind. Then he named the most beautiful fountain in the city after Taro. Thus, said the emperor, was to encourage all children to honor and obey their parents. The story of Taro's care for his parents reached the king. He awarded Taro 20 pieces of gold to encourage other children to take care of their parents. And also, he named the most beautiful fountain in the city after Taro. So, the moral of the story is we should take care of our parents and elders. God helps only those who take good care of their parents. Okay? Some people do not want to take care of their elderly parents, and they think what? Nursing home care gives the elderly a better care. I strongly agree that children should take care of their aging parents for some reasons. To begin with, they gave us life. They help us to grow up. Without them, we wouldn't be in this world. Parents took care of us when we were completely helpless and in need. They provided shelter, clothes, medicine, whatever we needed at that time. Also, they provided education. So, my dear children, our parents are the most precious in our life. Don't forget it. Okay? Love your parents. Take care of them. Okay? Then read your chapter 3 and enjoy reading. Thank you.